Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip, and this is Issues with Kicking Out A-aron, Part 2 with more detail. From Scientology and the Aftermath Foundation. What's up with that? How unfair to A-aron, man. That's pure betrayal. Let's talk about that.
So this is what's being said on the Scientology, growing up with Scientology, and the Blown for Good and the Aftermath Foundation, and so without the public knowing, meaning everybody that's following these channels and such. So we did notice I follow the Growing Up in Scientology channel. I think A-aron has a lot of great personality, and he explains things pretty well. He's a bit arrogant. A-aron reminds me of a guy who's trying to fit on a love seat when he would be much more comfortable on a couch. And it doesn't mean I have friends like that. So, he's a big guy. I've never seen him personally, but he's got a very big aura about him and a big personality. So I like his channel. I like how animated he is. I think he's got a hysterical, high-pitched laugh. And I learn a lot about Scientology from watching his channel. So I first learned of A-aron with watching Leah Remini's show. Leah and Mike Renders, though it's Leah and Mike's show, in all fairness. Okay. So they did an interview, and that's where A-aron was introduced to everybody about, his story and his twin brother and all of that. So that's very well worth watching. And then A-aron came out with his YouTube channel, and I started following that. And as time progressed, he became more and more interesting and more comfortable and more animated. He started getting guests on. Anyway, his channel has succeeded. I know from the very beginning that him and Mike worked together when Mike got out of Scientology. One of them helped the other one with work, but it was said by both that they helped each other. I don't know what happened with that relationship. I think that A-aron did change over the course of time, or at least we got to see him. Maybe not. Maybe he didn't. But sometimes when you get some popularity and you get more confidence, and you have to remember these people did not have a lot of confidence because it was taken away from them. Their identity was taken away from them. So maybe this is A-aron, and he's a different guy than Mike knows. But what I think I know about A-aron, and what I see and what I think that his followers see, is a guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. He's an open book. What you see is what you get. I know that there's three sides to every story, but A-aron came on YouTube and said, listen, voted off the Aftermath Foundation because of breaking a code of ethics, which I'm really confused about because as far as I know, there was never a code of ethics, and I know that because I founded this organization with Luis. Now, then he went on to say that Luis was the one that came up with the idea, and that he said, no, it's not going to work. And Luis said, give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And then he said, oh, that will work. And then from there, A-aron went to Claire or Mark. He doesn't remember which one first. And then they went to Mike, all with the same responses. No, this isn't going to work. Oh, wait a minute. Let me tell you. And they've all said, oh, that will work. So Luis came up with this idea. A-aron credits him with it. However, A-aron became a co-founder is, I think, between him and Luis. And then they brought other people on board. That's not to say that Mark Headley and Claire Headley didn't help people, or that Mike wasn't helping people. The organization was founded They might have been helping people, but the organization was founded by Luis and A-aron, respectively. So, that seems to be the truth about that. Now, also what's true, and Mike might not like to hear this, but we're going to go on. I don't care what Mike wants to hear. This shows character and personality and somebody's intent. A-aron got on a live stream and said, after Mike made it public that Mike was sick and had cancer, A-aron went on a live stream and said, listen, let's do some money in order for him to start his therapy. He's going to need some money, and if you guys could help me, let's try to get a fundraiser together. And he successfully was able to help Mike start his cancer therapy. Now, maybe Mike, I'm sure Mike probably didn't ask, and maybe Mike even said, listen, man, don't borrow that upon people. And maybe A-aron said, okay, I'm not going to do that on Mike's channel or anything to do with Mike. I'm going to do that on my own channel. That's my free will. So, I know that A-aron has been careless as far as, he lets Relatable Reese, I think her name, show up on a live stream because A-aron admits that he's lazy. So let's go there. A-aron admits that he's lazy. He doesn't even want to edit his videos. He does live streams. And in carelessness, unfortunately, and it wasn't malicious, he let Reese's name be seen. And, of course, people could stop the video when it's up on YouTube and, get a screenshot of that. He right away reached out to Reese and told her what happened, and then got her away and safe. Reese said that she's not upset about this. Relatable Reese said she's not upset about this. So, it is not a board thing. That has anything to do with being booted off the Aftermath Foundation. But I could see that in saying I can see where some of A-aron's behavior is careless. Guilt by association. But he's not guilty of anything. This is his personality. He's just, again, has a big personality. Maybe there are times that it should be reeled in, but I don't think booting him off in the way that he was booted off is something that should be the case. And the Aftermath Foundation, or Blown for Good channel, and Mike Rinder's channel has gotten together and said that they didn't want to talk about any of this, and now they put out statements and everything because they didn't want A-aron to talk about it. Supposedly, they said, listen, let's not talk about this because what's going to happen is it's only going to suit Scientology. Well, that's very Scientology-like, isn't it? Like, even the way he was booted off is very Scientology-like. It's almost like another little cult is developing there. A-aron is going to succeed because, though I don't think he's perfect, he's honest. I feel he's honest, unless this guy is somebody who is totally different behind the camera. And I think a lot of people have met him, and I've never heard anybody say that they had a bad encounter with him. He's a passionate guy. I definitely don't think that the board of directors, that having 3 married couples on the board, how does that work? Like, if you want to vote one person off, that 2 people are going to leave. Otherwise, there's going to be an implosion in that relationship. Like, none of that is right. This was successful because when the Aftermath Foundation, in my opinion, the first person I thought of was Leah Remini. But then I didn't think of Mike. A-aron was the one that would have people, he was I just followed his channel. I've watched some of Mike's stuff. I've listened to Leah and Mike, and I really don't care for Mark and Claire, and I didn't care for them to, honestly, to begin with. or Chris Shelton. Chris Shelton talks to people like they're shit if they don't agree with his way of thinking. Some of his way of thinking, that's not critical thinking. And the name of his channel is Critical Thinking. You got to let people think. And when A-aron called out Chris and Tony Ortega for wanting to put a story forth, and actually putting a story forth that they were just asked, please just wait on this, by the Jane Does in the Danny Masterson case, he called them out on it. He said, listen, they didn't tell him not to do it. They asked them, please don't do it right now. Just wait until... And they said, nope, it's a scoop. We're going to run with it. And he didn't like that. So he called out Chris Shelton. Because I'm sure somebody said, well, why don't you talk so much to Chris Shelton? Like, we never see him talk to Chris Shelton. And let me tell you something. A-aron also referred a lot to Tony Ortega's reporting. And not in a negative way. He didn't care for the way he went about getting his stories. But there were things that he gave credit to. So, I think there was a lot of diplomacy there. And I just think that what's happened with A-aron and Mike, like, Leah has much more vocal and she's much more boisterous. And she needs a fucking, I don't know what to sleep in or sit on, because she's like, she so has a big mouth. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. What I'm saying is, why wasn't she kicked off? Because she's not on the board. Apparently she's not on the board. I don't think it would matter if A-aron was on the board or not. They are treating him like guilt by association, forgetting about all of the good and all of the friendship. Like, that's the thing that's all smelly here. That's what's so messy here. Is that they got rid of this guy with ease. That's really Scientology-like, isn't it?
So guys, thanks for listening to my channel. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip, and this was Issues with Kicking Out A-aron. And I have a bit more to say about this. If you want to hear, like, follow, and subscribe. Thank you for making me a part of your day. Be better today than you were yesterday, but not half as good as you're going to be tomorrow.